What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt Taville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay Wilder, Glovegate, and who all is involved. Now, get this. Petition restarts to reinstate Wilder's undefeated record. Okay. Now, you have a lot of these guys. This is what it says, Elusive 2.0. Whoever that is. It says the LDBC are resubmitting a 125 slide PowerPoint submission of evidence to the Nevada State Athletic Commission on grounds of systematic racial discrimination amongst boxing organizations to dethrone Deontay Wilder, compounded with allegations of Tyson Fury cheating with backdate as far as 5 years ago. This is with a view to reinstate Deontay Wilder's undefeated record before his trilogy against Tyson this summer. Wilder approved and endorsed the movement on his Instagram on the 8th of February 2021, which he posted a screenshot of an LDBC podcast explaining how Tyson Fury cheated in the first fight. The LDBC's petition began in 2020, and now the wheels are in full motion to press forward once more, following public endorsement by Deontay Wilder himself. Okay, so now the petition is reinstated. I remember young Pharaoh, I can't remember how many people he had. He had a lot. I mean, they were into the thousands. I don't think it reached 1 million, but I mean, I know it was up there. It was like 20,000, 30,000, maybe more than that. And they were trying to get that, on the way. I think they were trying to, they were coming with the reasons why Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury, they feel Tyson Fury cheated Deontay Wilder. And, me counterpunching this, I don't know how far it's going to go. Obviously, they're persistent. They're persistent with the, with the allegations. They think Tyson Fury cheated. They have, I'm looking at here. I don't know half. I know Tay Jones is there. I don't know I know Nicholas Asbury, because he's been interviewed a few times. You have Titan Drew. That was the cat that said he wished Javon Sugar Hill would burn up in a car fire, stuff like that. And that just shows his rage and anger towards how somebody can be cheated. And I think that's way, I think that's very extreme. But I'm looking at this, man, and I'm like, I guess Wilder can focus on Wilder getting another fight with Tyson Fury, which he fought so hard to do. I guess he started with, the contract, because that's more believable because he won. And then if you think about it, he's like, well, if I won that, maybe I'll win this too. So when people start believing that, hey, I'm actually telling the truth, well, then maybe you guys can believe that he was cheating me for 2 fights along with other fights that he's been cheating. And what I say to that, man, I think that I hope Deontay Wilder is not putting too much energy into this, because if he is, if Tyson Fury is cheating, that means they're all idiots. And I mean his camp, primarily, him, and everybody involved. I mean everybody. They're idiots. Because the weird thing about Wilder is they labeled Tyson Fury a pillow puncher, and that comes from experience, because he shared the ring with him. That's why he was like, yo, you're a feather duster, you're a pillow puncher. You can't even feel none of your punches. I'm going to walk through them. Right? But how did he know he could walk through Tyson Fury's punches? How did he know that? Because how Fury punched him before. He didn't physically hurt Deontay Wilder. Now, I know that when you're fighting a person in the ring, your adrenaline's up. I get it. But you don't know that it was something in your gloves at that point. Nobody questioned that first fight. That's my question. Nobody questioned that. Not Mark Breland, not JD's. Nobody questioned the fact that why was Tyson Fury's glove floppy like that, right? Why was it floppy? Nobody questioned that then. Nobody cared. And then see, it's like they're idiots because they should have saw that and could have nipped that in the bud. Like, hey, what was wrong with his gloves? Why wasn't that talked between the ass end of 18, all of 19, and that portion of 2020 when that second fight, before that second fight took place? You know what I'm saying? That's like 15 months of nobody saying shit about none of this. Then all of a sudden it comes about when he loses. So you guys only care about justice as long as he is a winner. You see what I mean? Like, as long as you guys are saying, well, we don't care if he cheated or not, as long as Deontay Wilder wins. That's what I'm hearing. Because you didn't give a shit about how the glove flopped around. You just now picked it up after, well, let's go back and see what he done before. Why would you go back and see what he done before if you've seen the fight? This tells me that these cats right here are not fucking boxing fans. They're not. They're not boxing fans. Nope, they overlooked that. And Tay Jones is a professional fighter. So if anybody should have saw that shit, it would have been Tay Jones. Tay Jones, nobody saw that shit in the first fight. Nobody seen that glove flopping all around like that until I guess somebody looked at it because they were so disgusted. Because this is what happens. When you lose, okay, people start looking for reasons of why you lost. And a lot of times those reasons become excuses because they're not good enough reasons to be called reasons. That's why they're called excuses. So that's where they seen Fury's glove flop around like that. Okay, now, on the second fight, did Tyson Fury in that screen, in that vision, did it look funky? Yeah, it did. If that was a legitimate screenshot, it looked funky. If it wasn't altered or photoshopped, it looked funky. Okay? I will say that. Now, the question you have to ask for Wilder, and this is only a question for Wilder, how did the punches feel? Okay, the same questions you ask Wilder is the same questions you should ask Cotto. They asked Cotto on, hey, how was the punches? Did the punches feel heavy? Did they, you know what I'm saying? Did they hold weight? You know what I mean? And that's just due to Margarito getting caught. But I have a totally different video on Cotto versus Deontay, which I think I'm going to drop now because they've started this back up. So I have to give you legitimate episodes of when people actually cheated. Because, see, nobody has caught Tyson Fury yet. They've seen him with floppy gloves in the first, which you should have caught, which that's on y'all. The second fight, he went through the whole fight, beat the shit out of Wilder, and had that vision or that image of that distorted looking glove where it like kind of looked groovy, where you seen knuckle prints and shit in there. You didn't see egg weights though, did you? No. You didn't see claws or scratches? No. You didn't see none of that. But anyway, that's strike two. So then when they started interviewing guys like Nicholas Asbury was making his money from being a sparring partner for Tyson Fury. You know, and he said, well, there wasn't any padding in the gloves and this, that, and the other. You know, and it comes down to the Everlast power lock gloves that Tyson Fury wore when he sparred that dude, and they're notorious for wearing out. And when he did it, it was cushion falling out, and that tells you he was wearing some old-ass gloves. Okay, so there you go. That's really nothing else you can read into it, and then he was sparring anyway. This wasn't a sanctioned bout with the athletic commission and all that. But if they missed it, that means that the team misses it. It's the team missed it. One can't look at the other one. One thing we did learn from Margarito, though, you can't think and can't rely on the commission to do certain things that the trainer should be looking for. That's why the trainer of the opposite side is present to see what the hell is going on. So if JD's missed it, you can't just say he dropped the ball. You got to get rid of that motherfucker too. That was my problem with it. If Deontay Wilder would have got rid of him, then I would have seen it would have made sense. Like, okay, he's cleaning up everybody. You think Mark Breland did him dirty? He stopped the fight. He told him not to. Fine, he got rid of him. Okay, JD's, he dropped the ball. He can't even see if a motherfucker's wrapping the gloves without some funny shit going on. So he's got to go. But the problem was it wasn't consistent to me. He should have got rid of JD's. Okay, so that makes me really suspicious. You still got this motherfucker around, so how are we going to guarantee that he'll know what the fuck's going on? Will it be Malik Scott there? Is Malik Scott the head trainer? It's not enough really said in that. I think he is. You know what I mean? Because of the role that he's playing. You don't see him holding the mitts no more. You didn't see Mark Breland either, but Mark Breland wasn't the head trainer now, was he? He was just the guy that knew what the hell was going on, but that don't mean he was the head trainer. He wasn't that acting or stand-in guy, was he? No, he was not. Okay, so all that these guys are doing for Wilder, wanting the undefeated record, you know, I think they should really, I don't know, because they're trying to submit evidence to a commission that already made a ruling, right? And the only way they're going to do that is they're going to have to get a lawyer, and the lawyer is going to have to go through that and buy that, and then, you know, have other people with other experiences, which I'm pretty sure they did with 125 slide PowerPoint, you know, so they're not stopping, you know. And what does this mean though? What does this really mean? The bad part of this is Wilder, what if Wilder loses again? If he loses again, they're going to stick to this because they're going to blame the third fight on what happened in the second fight. That's the problem. This shit'll never end. They'll always say, well, you know what? Tyson Fury cheated Wilder. That's why Wilder wasn't ever the same. Shit like that. He had a dent in his head. You know, that was another one, a dent in his head. You know, I guess the egg weight form or whatever. But, you know, man, it's one of those contingent things that they will not give up on. And it just shows you like, hey, instead of them worrying about what Tyson Fury can do after that or in the future, they're worrying about what happened in the yesteryear. I think now listen, if Tyson Fury cheated, if the man cheated, he needs to be caught. But unfortunately, the element of surprise is gone. They'll never catch Tyson Fury doing shit like this. Why? Because if Tyson Fury cheated, they're all idiots anyway. Because those guys, you telling someone that you cheated, we know you cheated for 2 fights. How are you going to catch him now? Counterpunch. How are you going to catch a guy that you claim cheated back and forth? How will you catch him? You won't. Chances are you won't, because at that point, okay, well, we can't do that anymore. However, this is the counterpunch to that. If Tyson Fury goes in there and hits Wilder, and those punches are not the same, then you have argument to say, you know what? Those didn't matter. But guess what? Were the punches the same in the first fight when he was supposed to cheat it in the first place? Okay, so there's a lot of back and forth you can look at it, because Wilder was bragging that Tyson Fury couldn't punch, and the only reason he was saying that because he got punched by Tyson Fury. So for him to have something cheating in his gloves or hell in his damn gloves like that, that meant he had to be cheating the first fight and the second fight like these guys claim he did. Okay, I can't say this more blatant than I'm saying it. Wilder was bragging on him he couldn't punch. So obviously he couldn't have had a fucking egg weight form in his shit slapping him with it. He would have felt that shit. It would have been some type of abrasions or something. And look, in Deontay Wilder, he swells easy. I don't care what people say. He's an easy swell. Look at the Dunapas fight. Dunapas ain't no hard puncher, but his ass swole though, didn't he? His eye was swollen. He went 11 rounds with that guy before he stopped him eventually. But his eye looked fat, puffy, and swollen. Okay? But anyway, that's my counterpunch on the new petition that's starting. I hope this doesn't distract Wilder. My final things about this, because this could be a distraction for Wilder. And the last thing we need for Wilder is a distraction for something that already happened that somebody can't prove. You know, so I hope his followers don't get him in no shit that has him thinking about cheating, where he's taking him off focus on the fight. He needs to be mentally focused up here, not of what happened in yesteryear. Bars. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about the new position or new petition. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.